Hello, everybody. Welcome to Comic Core Unlimited. We're on time. No heckling from TJ in the chat. We will not accept that. This is your Wednesday show, the new comic book day show for the Comic Core channel. I am John's Comics with Kids. I am joined by my panelists. As always, we got Jason, Comics Misexplained. What is the record for tonight?
Tonight we got Black Sabbath live in Pittsburgh. It's
Sabbath.
Yeah, it's an unofficial release, bootleg, if you will. But this is I think their first appearance in Pittsburgh back in late 70s, maybe even early 60s. So very, very hard to find. The one that was released originally was called Paradox, and it was a black and white, painting. But that one, I saw the first year I started working at my record label, work, and I never saw it again. I was like, oh yeah, I'll get it later, and I just disappeared, never came across it ever again. Then they released this one. It's like a reissue of that, and so I was like, yeah, I had to snap it right away, and I've still never seen another one since then. So kind of lucky to get that.
Nicely done. And how you doing, man? You doing all right?
Yeah, buddy. Did a lot of reading today. I'm excited to get into it, guys.
Nice. And then, of course, the host, the man who was the Golden Guy host last night as well, JD. How you doing, man?
Good seeing everybody again. Hey, we had a good show last night out there on Golden Guys. I'm very happy to be back, of course, on Unlimited here, the show everybody loves the most.
Right.
Of course. Just glad to be here. Had a good week. Won some stuff on Comic Link, and also CGC apparently has my my Avengers 1, Strange Tales 110, and my Journey Mystery 83 in grading status.
Ooh, all right.
Ooh, there we go.
But the best part of news I heard so far was that they're all universal, so they're all getting blue labels. I'm very happy about that.
Nice.
The goal, like a 1 on the Avengers and the Journey to Mystery, just because I don't see them getting higher than that. They could, though. Paul thinks they could. It's that low grade stuff I get confused with. And then maybe about a 2.5, 3 on the Strange Tales. I'll be very happy. So,
well, that's good. Well, good luck to you on that. That's exciting stuff, man.
That's super exciting. That's awesome.
That is awesome. And then our special guest, we got hopefully 2 guests coming in, but Mr. Discovery Bay, newest member of the 1,000 subscriber club. What's on today for you, sir? How you doing?
Oh man, today was crazy. You know what? It's of all the days to catch 1,000 subscribers. This morning was all emotional, and then my daughter comes home, and I wasn't ready for school that starts tomorrow. And I tried to do the most epic show ever, and I got about halfway through it, and everything just fell apart. And I said, "All right, well, we'll do one tomorrow." So tomorrow's going to be epic. I'll tell you what, the intro is going to be great. But yeah, just living the dream, man. Just being the stay-at-home dad who forgets that school is tomorrow and doesn't have the new lunchbox and the new backpack.
Exciting. And then the
other one job, Dad. Good one job.
I had one. That's what my daughter said.
And then, of course, the other one member of the new 1,000 club, Mr. Boy Who Had 7, Matt, who had the awesome show last night. How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm good. I am still exhausted from last night. No, it was good. It was a great time. I appreciate you guys all showing up and being there, and thanks for having me, JD.
Dude, that was an awesome party, man. That was such a fun panel that you guys had. It was just a great party. I think everyone had a good time. Like, people in the chat as well. And it was really cool hearing everyone's origin stories and their road to 1,000 too, man. It was just so cool. And you had awesome prizes, dude. Those giveaways were sick. It was
they're A-okaying and the giving away of stuff was just so cool.
Good times for sure. Thanks, man.
Well, I'm glad to have you here. And
go ahead, JD. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just real excited to have Matt and JB here. Celebrating both of them. Congratulations on this milestone, this 1,000 milestone. I mean, we've had White Whale do it recently. We've had a few other people just hit it recently. John just hit 700.
Yeah.
Everybody's just
Tony Sanders.
Keep it up.
Yeah, everybody just over 1,000. Yeah.
Just 1,000. I forgot about Tony, of course.
Come on.
Yeah.
John, do you want to tell everyone about your contest you're having? I'm sure they watched on your video already, but it'd be cool to hear more details again.
Yeah, let me shout out the chat, and then we'll do a little chatting about that. I got Caleb. Firstly, love tailgating. Got to respect Discovery Bay for his new term We got Caleb, Boogie Bentley, and Chris Barrett tailgating early. Jason jumped in there to keep it going. White Whale Comics came by. Hello, sir. And Gray Matter, Hulk, and Comic Man Andy are in there. Boyhood 7 jumped in. Discovery Bay jumped in. Poor Mike. How are you doing, sir? And let's see here. Did I miss some people? Ooh, we're getting down there now. Wuhong is in there. JP Budget Collecting. He dropped a video for my contest today. It was hysterical. I was dying. Just cracking me up, man. Airboy the Barbarian. Thomas Wayne. Let's see. Did I miss anybody else? Old Wolf. Hello. And I want to make sure I'm on top chat here, or live chat, so I can see all the messages. Sometimes I get left out. Kingpin Comics. And I think I got everybody. Yeah, I'm running a contest right now. I'll say a little hi in the chat there, and you can click on my name and jump to my channel. But yes, I am currently running a 700 subscriber contest. It's going through the end of August, so you have plenty of time. You could do a quick live stream, whatever you want to do. You don't even need to be in the video, but a video gets you entry into all the rounds that I'm going to be giving away, so it should be a lot of fun. So let's go through. We usually start with our reading list. What have you been reading? What have you been enjoying? It sounded like Jason read a ton versus me. I bought one book today. One.
Oh, man. What'd you get?
I, of course, got the book club book for tonight, Powers of X.
Sweet, dude. Yes.
All the DC books, I picked them up, I flipped through, I skimmed and read little bits, and I was like, I don't want any of this.
Yeah.
Really? I put it all back.
Dude, all the DC stuff was super long, too, today, man.
Wow.
It was draining.
So, Jason, what'd you read, man?
All right, dude. Start off with Batman Last Night on Earth, issue number 2 or 3. All you spec people can get a first appearance of Omega. That's the Lex Luthor created Batman. It was, I guess he created this Omega to kind of help solve this destruction of the world that was happening, and then things went even more wrong. So there's a lot of questions that's going on with Last Night on Earth, but it's all still kind of confusing too. Maybe once it wraps up in issue 3, it'll be more easy to understand. But for right now, I wouldn't say it's really quite, but still worth the read. Batman Secret Files.
But
sorry, go ahead.
I will say what I liked about it was seeing Mohawk Wonder Woman. Like that was the only thing I dug. I was like, I like Wonder Woman, and the Mohawk looked cool on her, but the rest of it, I was just like, it's too weird. It's too nonsensical for me.
Yeah,
I can't handle it.
I'm not really digging Joker's humor either. He's like, can I be Robin? Can I be Robin? Can I be Robin? It's like, okay, we get it, man. You know, it's not that funny. I do like how Wonder Woman like totally impaled that fake Superman and like kind of gutted him to the side. Like that was pretty brutal.
She's cool.
So it's worth it for the action and see some bizarre stuff. Yeah, some really cool ideas too. They were like on the the plane of solitude. So instead of just a fortress of solitude, it's a whole entire huge area of just ice. You know, like Superman's little domain. And a lot of other cool things too. They said like a land or graveyard of imps. You know, I guess maybe it was Mr. Pitlick's and Batmite bodies or something. They didn't really go into it. It was just a white page and a little dialogue box. So there's a huge world of cool things they can do if they want to go into it further, but I doubt they will. But Batman Secret Files number 2 had a lot of like little Batman stories. And what I like about it is it's really cool to see other people write Batman. You know, we're always stuck with just usually 2 writers. So it was kind of fun to see people's take. The first story, I'm trying to remember what really happened. The main one that stuck around in my head was, the first one was Joker dealing with Batman. Batman was tied up and couldn't escape. And it was Joker's plan was to dismantle his whole entire armor and his suit and wear it from himself and then like kind of hurt Gotham with the suit and then go back and kill Batman with the suit. And so that was his plan. But just trying to take it off of Batman's body was just setting up all his traps, and he was just self-sabotaging himself and getting really mad. So it was really fun and then funny too to watch. It was really entertaining. So that was a pretty enjoyable story. The second story dealt with a psycho pirate. Had this like a bunch of people going in there for their own own personal problems, whether the psychosomatic trauma or whatever. And then, it was like Psycho Pirate was kind of like a priest, and he was like, yeah, I'm here to help people and stuff. And Batman comes crashing in. He's like, oh, it's not up for you to tell people how to feel. It's up for people to make those feelings themselves. And then he, captured Psycho Pirate. So I'm not sure how this continuity it works, with this going forward, because the last story was with Bane, and it showed him as a youth and escaping out of prison. Then it says to be continued, and Batman
connect to City of Bane, right?
Yeah, so it connects and stuff, but we know Psycho Pirate is part of like the whole entire Bane crew. but with him getting captured in the secret files, it doesn't really make sense with that, really. But I don't know. I'm not sure how it falls. I mean, it would be cool to like see Psycho Pirate be like, yeah, I was the reason why things went wrong in Heroes in Crisis. Everyone was under control with my masks and stuff. You know, that would be an easy explanation, but will they go there? I don't know. I hope they do.
I feel like right now, maybe it's just me, and I, as a Batman fan, I don't know if Matt or JB are Batman fans and they're reading some of this. I just feel like the stories are getting more and more like separated. Like there's every comic seems to be in their own Elseworld, you know,
Yeah.
and there's zero connectivity to anything.
Right. And I'm okay with that as long as they like declare that, you know.
I guess.
For now, everyone's kind of up to this, like whatever, I guess, you know.
Are Matt or JB? Are you guys reading any of those?
I read everything Batman.
Awesome.
You know, I should say I saw Matt. You shared all your books that you picked up today, and it was a stack. You were like whack whack whack.
Yep. So I kind of feel like Batman Who Laughs and Last Night on Earth, those are their own thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But I am like Detective and Batman, and I don't know, Tom King for me. You know, I'm not a fan.
Same.
He kind of went into this whole dream state that they haven't brought back together yet, and so it kind of lost me, which I was bummed about because I love Batman. So,
You know, the funny thing is though, like I make the exact same argument about Batman Last Night on Earth. It is an absolute just messed up nightmare dream with no logic to it.
I feel that, but I was
And yet people love that
Yeah.
and hate the Batman dreams and Batman. I think it's like sometimes it's like, oh, I know King's writing it and I hate King and I love Snyder. I'm gonna like the Snyder one. It's literally the same crap, and I don't like either one, but I don't get loving one and hating one. It just doesn't make sense to me.
You know, for me, I was expecting it to be a dream state, like crazy cerebral with Snyder's writing.
Right.
I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting Batman and Catwoman to get married, man. So
Yeah,
it blew me up. It blew me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because like with the Last Night on Earth, like I figure I would love it, and I figure John would love it too, because we love both the old man universe where like the bad guys win, you know, kind of dystopian society, things are falling apart, heroes or there's barely any heroes, they're gonna figure out how to defeat a big large.
If it had
evil.
been that, I would have been all in.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's like it's
Kind of how Last Night on Earth
like in an
is, but it's
insane
still, like,
asylum,
I
and
don't
then
know.
he's got like Alfred showing up, and he's like, "No, this is the bat suit," and then he's all of a sudden like falling into a dream, and then he climbs out of the sand, and he's all of a sudden in a desert. It's like,
yeah.
And then there's a Joker head and a lantern. It's like none of this goes together, guys. They've explained none of that.
The dream thing is over. That was just kind of Alfred's kind of last, thing to keep Batman there, to not go out into the real world and adventure out. So there's no longer a dream state. It's just him venturing out into this messed up world where everything's kind of falling apart and owned by Omega, I guess. This evil Batman that's created by Lex Luthor. So I don't know, man. It's not really landing for me though. I don't know. I wish it would. But I guess to go on, Batman Who Laughs, number 7 of 7. It was awesome. I had a great time with it. We can probably say some spoilers if you want to talk about it too, John.
I haven't read that one, so that one I skipped. Remember, I got one book this week, or at least one new book. I'll share in a little bit. I bought like 12 other books, but like
Matt, did you read?
Man, I'm still trying to catch up with last week's reads, man.
Okay. All right.
Just
I
in the last
talk about it, bro.
3
Talk
weeks worth of books.
All right, I won't spoil it then, but it had a cool cliffhanger as well, so I'm looking forward to their Batman Superman.
because this was
story.
the finale. This was the extra issue, right? They published the 7th issue, right? Just to like add a little more time.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I believe I'm not sure if it was just the last issue or the last 2 issues, but they definitely stretched it out to continue and change the story so that it goes into Williamson's Batman Superman coming up. So I'm super excited for that and see what Williamson does with it, because I think he needs a break from the Flash, even though he's going to continue writing that. I just need to change the scenery, and he's always wanted to write Batman and Flash or Batman and Superman, but I believe he has written some small stories in the past, but it should be cool. And this one was awesome. I love Batman Who Laughs, number 7. It was really, really good, man. It was a great little miniseries. Justice League Dark Annual, number 1. Gosh, man, this was like a heartbreaker. It was really sad. Probably the saddest thing I read today. It just kind of goes into the Parliament of Flowers and who they're going to have be the new avatar of kind of like Swamp Thing, because there's no longer a Parliament of Trees. There's just a Parliament of Flowers that's left. So they have they made this guy, kind of a Swamp Thing creature, but he's all flowers. And then JD, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
what happens to Jason Woodrue? Because I never read any of the Alan Moore Swamp Thing. I always wanted to. All I know about Swamp Thing is the Tom King, or the Winter Special, and also the show. I know Jason Woodrue, and there's like the bad guy, kind of mayor guy.
Man, yeah, he's Pollock Man, and
What's his name?
Floridian Man, I think.
Okay.
And he's exactly that kind of character.
Okay.
Woodrow in the show is a combination of Abigail Arcane's uncle in the comic and Jason Woodrue in the comics. But when Alan Moore started writing it, he brought in the Patchwork Man, but not, her dad. But he was more into Jason Woodrue as being this super character,
Okay. Was he created by like the Rots or something, or who made him?
The Rots totally different. They're putting things together.
Okay.
In the show.
I figure in the show they're putting things together, but as in the comic, like who made Jason Woodrue? Like what is he?
He was a kind of like an Alec Holland style guy. He was always into Swamp Thing, I think 23, 24, and 25 goes into Jason Woodrue. More of a like an ordinary character who he becomes this plant, and he controls the plants more than Swamp Thing can.
Oh, cool. Okay.
He's more advanced, but he's Jason Woodrue, and he's limited to what he can do. Can go and stuff. Pretty much screws everything up all the time.
Yeah.
Plane crashes and shit always happen. It's weird.
In this Justice League Dark Annual, you had the Parliament of Flowers make this new guy, and his story was like he was like a science guy, and his wife, and they lost their kid. I guess his kid got like a brain tumor and died, and so they're like kind of separated. I mean, they're together, but like there's still that silence and heartbreak that they live with constantly. And so eventually the wife leaves and just needs a break, and he does his science experiments. And you find out that he killed himself on this like bed of flowers and stuff, with like a bunch of chemicals and things. He was trying to like kill these flowers, and they kept living, and he was kind of like shoved, and like almost like insult, So he ended up dying, and so you found that towards the end of the comic. But so he's in this new flower body, and Jason Woodrue comes up later, and he's convinced him to make like these like flower like human beings, almost like clones out of flowers, and like.
Sounds very Poison Ivy like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Woodrow eventually hates humans, and and should rule the world.
He needs to get together with Poison Ivy. Clearly, they need to make some things.
Yeah,
before
this is This is by Tinian, right? Is it?
Tinian. Tinian. Yeah,
because I've been trying to get the trades for the beginning of that story. I hear it's really, really great.
Oh, it's awesome.
I think it is. I think Matt's been reading it too, Matt. So did you get the annual today too, Matt?
I picked it up, just haven't read it yet. So I'm like,
okay, I'm not gonna spoil it. Sorry,
no, it's cool. Don't worry, man. Do your thing. I'm good, man.
No, you got to read it because it's a heartbreaking story, and it's really pulled the heartstrings, man. But yeah, I'm not going to ruin that for you. Marvel Avengers 22 brought out Ghost Rider because like you have the two. They're going to finally build the race through hell. They're building up to that, and this one that didn't happen. It's gonna, I guess, happen in the next issue. But
someone said this was about an exorcist, right? They're trying to exorcise the car.
Dude, they bring in Damon Hellstrom, and it's awesome seeing the Son of Satan. He has like this pentagram, his shirt open. It was really cool seeing his like new redesign. So I too have the Son of Satan, JD. I know you're looking for that.
I just had one out. I literally just had one out.
Yeah, dude, it was cool though seeing this Exorcist the car, and apparently they're going to go into that in the next issue. I guess there it is. Yeah, that's it.
Yep, that's it. Spotlight 12.
Oh man.
I guess the next issue, I think the soul that possesses Robbie Reyes' car, his uncle, that's a serial killer. I think it's going to possess the Sentinel that they're in the Avengers base. So it should be cool seeing all that action with the giant Sentinel attacking the Avengers, and then also the Hell race with Johnny Storm and Robbie Reyes. So I'm really hoping that because I keep seeing pictures of like Robbie Reyes wearing the throne, on the throne, wearing the crown. That's the cover of this issue. And then the next issue, I saw some other picture of him wearing the crown. So I really hope like Robbie Reyes becomes the King of Hell, and we get Johnny Blaze back into the Avengers. Like, I want Johnny Blaze back, dude.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
You know? So
I mean, I get it. I mean,
I'm
like,
a Danny Ketch guy.
but he's not really the Ghost Rider that we all.
yeah, Danny Ketch apparently they said Hellstrom called Danny Ketch in this issue and said he didn't answer. And he was like in a drunken mess and just like hung up on him. He would call for help. So who knows what he's up to? I don't know. He's just drinking, I guess, in his free
Maybe
time.
he brings in the old school Western Ghost Rider.
Dude, that'd be so awesome.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Oh man, that's my favorite, man. I love that. That's my Ghost Rider.
Yep.
Dude,
Let me shout out the chat a little bit.
Yeah,
There's some
yeah,
people that
go.
joined in. Comic Books NYC, Sam I Am, and Bake the Snake all came by. I'm gonna, in a little bit here towards the end of the show, we're gonna announce the last two, the third and fourth place winners for the Comic Core Baltimore contest. So stick around. We'll get to that here in a little bit. These are some of the people that are in contention. It's nice to see him here, but Old Wolf came by. He was heckling JB because JB was checking. He's like, "Oh, JB is really interested in the show tonight. He's checking out his phone." Comic Man Andy, Jack Yo came by. Thank you for coming by, everybody. Gray Matter Hulk, I think I already shouted you out. Sorry, go ahead, Jason. You had a couple more you read this week?
Yeah. Conan the Barbarian was really awesome.
How was that?
Dude, Conan goes back home and like all his like family members and people he knew and grew up with like are all like possessed and like trying to kill him. So it was almost like a Walking Dead kind of zombie kind of thing. And that was really cool. So I'm not going to spoil the ending of that, but man, that was some serious action too, man. That was just really cool seeing Conan in that kind of situation. Then Venom Annual, I stayed away from because it's part of the acts of evil kind of thing happening, and it's like just to buy a bunch of like unknown like riders, you know. The same thing happened like last week with the Punisher Annual. It was like kind of not who's writing Punisher. It wasn't Rosenberg, and it's part of the acts of evil thing. And then I guess next week it's going to continue into the Deadpool Annual. So I don't know. Right now I'm not really feeling this acts of evil stuff until you kind of get some better writers and drawers on there.
It's one of my things that they do with annuals that you're 100% right. What they do with annuals now is they bring in, they have like 6 stories or 4 stories or whatever it is, but one of them might be by the main writer and the rest are by other writers. And they kind of,
Yeah.
I don't really get it. I mean, the Thanos one was just like, all right, that's terrible.
Right. They're all usually pretty terrible. Yeah,
Thanos
it's a
Annual
shame.
is
I don't know.
terrible.
And then I guess like lastly, I'll talk about Powers of 10, which I thought was amazing, but man, it was just quite the hardy read.
Man, there was so much to this book. Holy cow. That book was dense.
And like now we understand what they mean by Powers of 10. You know,
Did you see though that they have a typo? There's I one point I was reading and I was like, that doesn't make sense. At the beginning they show you that like X0 means like 0 year, X to the power of 1 is like 10 year, X to the power of 2 is like 100 year, and X to the power of 3 is year 1000.
Yeah.
Well, one time we're in the year 100, but they call it X1. I'm like, wait, are they messing with me? Is it like intentional? Is it really trying to screw me over, or is it like, dude, what's going on?
They got so technical, they messed themselves over.
Yeah, it's so complicated. I think they put the wrong exponent on it.
The editor, I think his name is Jordan White, on Twitter yesterday, the day before. I think it was like the day before. He's like, "Yeah, I caught a mistake." He's like, "Damn it!" Like, so that was probably it. And then Hickman retweeted him. But yeah, so that could have been it. You know,
it's so dense that you don't know. Like maybe they're setting something up, a twist. But then I got to the end of it, I was like, "There's no way that's a twist. It's just a gaff."
This
Clearly had to be.
Yeah, dude. This whole entire comic is such a huge setup, and just trying to understand the whole entire like worldscape of the X-Men, of like what's going on throughout their history. Everyone's the different parts that they play into like the ruin of like mutants and mankind. It's so intense, and it's like eating a hearty meal, dude. It was an undertaking to understand, and I'm still looking forward to everything that's going to happen. There's a lot of hype for House of X issue 2. I think it has the biggest hype around it.
They've had that highlighted in red every week.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm stoked for it. But what do you have to say? Can you say anything about it, John, before you
I dug the different timelines. I think there was a lot of time spent in year 100. They're kind of using that as like a baseline year. There wasn't a whole lot of time in year 10. and it was just like a snippet of that. And then at the end, we're getting a little bit of year 1000. So we're getting to kind of like how the events of this story is going to affect mutant universe like long term, which is cool. I like that kind of, it grounds it in chronology in a big way. I do not know the character of Nimrod well enough. So I was like, okay, I got to really go back and remember Nimrod and who he is and his backstory. So that was my only big to do, because Nimrod is a huge part of this now.
Yeah. I can't remember quite what Nimrod was, but I think I do have his first appearance somewhere in a very beat up issue. But I think Nimrod was almost like maybe the Ultimate Sentinel. I don't know. I can't remember. I can't quite remember. I'll have to look it up as well.
I don't remember.
That's everything. That's everything I read.
Powerful, virtually indestructible descendant of the Sentinels.
There you go.
So there you go. That's the short end version, I guess.
Awesome.
See, first appearance was in X-Men issue 191 in 1985. So there you go. I don't know that I got that. I don't think I have that one, but whatever. Can we jump over to JB? Who I don't want JB to fall asleep.
No, I'm just finally getting a chance to read some books, man.
What have you read the last week or two? It does not need to be New Comic Book Day books, right? It could be anything you've been reading.
I'm trying to do this Instagram thing, right? I'm trying to dive deep into the Instagram, and when somebody tags me, I'm gonna find that book and I'm gonna put a picture of it. I'm gonna put it up. I figured, man, I gotta make sure I read all these damn books. Yeah. So today was a good read. I did Marvel Comics Presents Wolverine Weapon X.
Good saga.
Yeah, they only had the first 6 pages, and then they tell you, go get issue number 1 in 2 weeks.
They're short and there's very little talking, but like I read them on Marvel Unlimited, and you just blast through that whole storyline like just quick. The art is so good. Barry Windsor Smith, right? Yeah, he's so good.
That's the start. Yeah, Barry Windsor Smith. And then since I finally got my books, it's not their fault. I told them to kind of pull stuff together, but I'm getting Chino Comics and More R&R is my new LCS. And then, they just kind of pull my books together and ship them to me. And I'm finally getting some stuff I wanted to read, like Savage Avengers 3, which was sweet. I don't know why I'm having so much fun with this, right? This is like a total just a joyride of adventure. You get to the end. It's been out for forever, right? You can talk about this now, right? They rip out his heart, and then you get the symbiote come in with the blade. Man, that was freaking awesome. And then I finally got my hands on this. I've heard lots of good things, and so far so good.
I've not read that at all.
Cool. You have not read it? Now, doesn't 2 come out? When did 2 come out? Next week or this week?
I think it comes out next week.
Next week. Yeah, so 2 comes out next week. So let's see what's going on with this. I've heard a lot of good things about this. So that's it on the comic book wise. I don't have the big plethora of stuff. I'm just now getting into my books over here. I'll tell you what I am really looking forward to reading. Something I've never read before, but I had to get the facsimile. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But I'm really looking forward to reading this. And I bet it's not good. But,
it's worth it, though.
It's worth the read, right? And hey, that was a great idea of slabbing these facsimiles. Now, where you were smarter than you're in many ways than just this, but the Hulk one, I should have just bought 9.8, from whatever Slabbed Heroes or wherever. Yeah. No, I bought 10 raw copies, and guess how many 9.8s you think I got out of those 10 raw copies? I didn't even send any. There wasn't even like a 9.4 in any of those 10 raw copies that I got from Midtown Comics. So that would have been the way to do it, because I agree. Just having it hanging on the wall, 20 years from now is going to look great. Yeah. Regardless if it was the facsimile version. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then the other one that was the facsimile that I have read. I got myself one of these. It's on the Grail list, and I figured this is going to be as close as I get, right?
I didn't snag one of those, but Charlie gave a review for X-Men 1 last week on the Unlimited show, and absolutely loved it.
Yeah, she did a good job.
I never read those, but I hear they mentioned Krakoa, or at least the giant size stuff.
Giant size, yeah. It's a big part of giant size.
That's awesome.
Which is an old Journey to Mystery stuff,
Oh, man.
It always comes back to Journey into Mysteries.
Journey into Mystery.
It all stems
The
from
island.
Journey into Mysteries.
By the way, so this is Nimrod's first issue. Apparently, I do have it. So I was trying to show Caleb that I do have it. So this one with Vision and the Colossus fighting on the cover, X-Men 191.
Nice.
Oh, that's right. Chris Barrett won that X-Men 9.8. He broke the
he did.
losing streak.
Yeah.
Or no, it was
He was
technically.
AOK'd it. He was AOK'd
Technically he
by
broke
NYC.
it. Yeah, NYC for sure. That was awesome, though. That was really cool. I'm going to try and do something similar. I didn't want to steal your thunder, but that was awesome. I want to do a game show thing. I ordered some stuff from Amazon today.
Cool.
I'm very excited for it to show up.
It was
that
fun, right?
I could, yeah. I even got myself a little spinning wheel and a couple other. Yeah. So we're definitely gonna do a 1,000 kind of giveaway. I got to get some stuff together, and then I want to do it like a game show. You know, I'm
Cool.
gonna have some
That'll be
envelopes pre-done and get some curtains, pre-done, and get my sound effects ready because I'm sure there'll be a couple of wahs in there. Yeah. So that was fun last night.
All right, so JD, what have you been reading, brother? Do you have any time to
Actually,
read?
I didn't get a chance this week to go to
It's all right. It's been a busy week. I think.
Giant Size Eternals 1. I picked that up at a flea market here, and I picked up 4 books. One. I don't know where I put it. It was the Quasar 30, which is first Venomized cover.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And it's Thor is actually Venomized, so it's pretty cool.
Nice.
But other than that, that's about it.
All right, then, boy who had 7. Have you had any time to read anything the last couple of weeks? I know you got your books, but I know you're still catching up.
You know what, man? I finished House of X 2 days ago, and that blew my mind. I absolutely was just blown away. I thought, now this is one heck of a read. I haven't read anything modern like that.
Yeah.
So, man, when Magneto turns around at the end and says his little line in Israel, oh my gosh, I had goosebumps, jaw drop. So that was awesome. Totally Magneto.
Yeah, we're the new guys now.
And then last night, no, 2 nights ago, I was on with NYC and JP, and we were doing the Gotham City Chronicles, and we read Death in the Family, which is one of my favorite Batman reads. So I had to reread that one a few times. I'm actually reading it to my 3 youngest kids, and I love the reaction because as we're sitting there reading, they're just like freaking out because, Joker's doing what he does. And then the next day they're like, Dad, I couldn't sleep all night. And I'm like,
Did you tell them that the audience voted for that?
I did. We got to that issue, and I told them, like, look, it shows a little panel. And I'm like, back in the day when I was 5 years old, I could have called in and voted, but it was a 900 number.
You could have saved Jason Todd. It was all your fault.
That's right. So, and then naturally after that, I went over to Batman Red Hood, and I'm enjoying the heck out of that again. So I've kind of been reading a few older things instead of catching up with my newer reads. But
Nothing wrong with that. That's where the jam is, man.
Yep. But that's it for me, man.
Well, and then so I did not get a lot of new stuff, like you're saying. I got some older stuff. My LCS has 50% off older trades, and I got this Sentry storyline. It's got like 10 issues. It's not only the main Sentry storyline, but it's all the crossovers with FF and X-Men and Spidey and Hulk and everything.
Cool.
So I was pumped on that. I want to catch up on Oblivion Song, so I snagged the two trades for that. I've read the first trade, and it's great. So I'm excited to read the second on that. It's just a really good read. And then I was just super pumped. My LCS will sometimes bundle together books and sell you the full story.
Mm-hmm.
And they had Matt Fraction's Hawkeye run. So 12 issues, not the full, I guess it's 18 or 22 issues, but the first 12 issues for $18.
Good
I was
deal.
like, yes, I'm in, including my favorite cover I was showing off earlier. Now I can't find it. There it is. I love this Kate Bishop cover where she's just like, I love Hawkeye. Just like, I love absolutely phenomenal cover.
That's awesome.
And they're all just cool negative space, like old noir paperback kind of like distressed covers. I love it.
That's how the Scarlet Witch run around that time was as well. They must have a graphic artist, yeah.
And I've read the first trade, so I've only read the first 5 or 6 issues, but I'm excited to be able to read more of that story now because I dug it and I couldn't believe at that price. I was like, yes.
I think that Kate Bishop cover or issue is rather pricey now. If you want to look it up.
I did notice that Kate Bishop one was expensive, and then I noticed that like issue 2, there's some key to issue 2. Sadly, issue 1 is the second print, so I'll be hunting for a first print of issue 1, but that's about it.
Cool.
So that's pretty much it for me. I did not buy a whole lot of new books today. I was a little disappointed by what was out there, but it's that 5th week thing, that 5th week of the month.
Yeah, it's always a week. So you want to go into the topic for tonight?
Yeah, the topic we were going to discuss tonight had to do with variance, and I had watched a video on a couple other channels talking about variance and the history of variance, and I've noticed the way DC is moving to the dollar extra for the cardstock thick kind of variance, and I've felt at least that in some ways Marvel is, except for their big events, is doing fewer of the like insane variants. I've just noticed, for me at least, that it seems like there's a shift happening right now with variants. And I wanted to kind of hear from the panel about their feelings about variants. For me, I know like I'm not a big store exclusive, online exclusive variant fan. Like I've never bought a comic that way. If it's not in my store, I usually won't buy it. But that's just I'm super like picky about. I don't want to fund J. Scott Campbell's minivans and whatever he buys. Although he probably buys something nicer than a minivan. In my imagination, it's a minivan. So like for me, I'm bothered by the trend of all these artists having their own store online and they sell their own books, and then all these online retailers having their own exclusives. Some of that bugs me. I just was curious how people felt about variants in particular. And I was going to go to JB first on that. Oh, sorry, JD wants to go first.
No, JB.
Yeah, I was going to go to JB first on that. How do you feel about variants, JB?
I'm hooked, man. I've been hooked for a while, and it, I've just recently got back in. So I just got back in October, November last year, and immediately I was just hit with this just amazing art. And for me coming back in, I'm like, man, these are $2.99, $3.99, $4.99. That art's worth that alone, and I'm buying Artgerm, and I'm buying all the artists. That the art is what was grabbing me. And then I found out about these ratio variants, and I got into it big time. I'm on Midtown looking at all the different ratio variants, and I'm thinking, well, shit, they'll be worth more. No, not necessarily. Not at all. Some of them are worth cover. And now I'm really just trying to buy one of a book, and I'm finding myself buying the variant cover more often than I buy the regular cover.
Is that for DC or is it for both?
Both.
Or all?
I'm finding I am buying the variant cover probably 80% of the time on everything modern that I'm buying. And I'm just looking at it right now. I mean, literally, I'm asking for B, A and B, B. I'm always asking for the variant.
And for me, like, I know that like the ones that are going to be in my store, they're not, for a big event, they're not going to be the one that spikes to the insane price. It'll be that one that's a little more rare, that's that store exclusive, or the 1 in 100, like you're saying. So
but I don't think I'm buying it for the resale value.
I try to buy the cover that I like more.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I'm buying the variant for the resale value. That's why I'm buying the variant. I'm buying the variant because it's a better cover. Most of the time it's a better looking cover, in my opinion.
And in the last 2 months, I have bought the only ratio variants I've ever bought in my life. And they both were the Silver Surfer Black, the 1 in 10, the 1 in 20. I still think this 1 in 10 is so cool with the surfboard and the Fantastic Four.
Absolutely.
So I don't always preach or I don't always follow what I preach. But for the most part, I struggle with the variants.
You mentioned that, DC's new $1 more for the variant, But you're getting a better book, I think, because the cardstock on that cover is so nice.
Yeah,
But if they get
compared to the
hurt, it's
regular
over.
books.
yeah. I don't mind
know?
that $1 fluctuation too for DC because you only have one other option of a variant. As opposed to Marvel, you have like the 1 in 10, the 1 in 50, the 1 in 100. You have all these other like variants for Marvel. It's always so stacked and always so expensive for Marvel. For DC, like $1, $2 more, why not? Just pick it up. Like
I kind of think it's Marvel and DC kind of have a thing going on with this variant war, and Marvel doesn't do a variant on every book. They don't, but DC does. On every Batman, there's a B. On every,
well, not
there's
every,
always
not every
But there
book,
should be a
handful.
B for Batman. There should
Right.
be a B for
I'm not
Detective.
There is a B for
I'm
Batman.
saying two different things. But for example, when we're judging a book by its cover, which is nothing wrong with that, that's comics 101, and I'm the first to admit it. I mean, it's been going on the golden age. I mean, most of the writing, with the exception of like Marvel Timely and stuff like that, and Atlas books with good writers and everything else. Knights of Old would scream at me, but a lot of the writing on the other stuff is there. But when you talk about store variants and everything else, if I see a Gabriel Delato cover,
Hell yeah.
Right?
and if it's one of my favorite, only if it's one of my favorite characters, though. Strange, Silver Surfer, Thor, and Thanos, or Perillo.
Yeah, we're all gonna have those artists, right? The one that we're like, I follow.
I will buy a store variant. I will buy a store variant or a exclusive if I have that. But I'm not a big I know J. Scott Campbell said something. I'm not a big fan of his. I never.
Yeah.
Can I pitch you, Matt? I want to pitch a couple questions. You were gonna mention the fact that any injury to the cardstock cover is going to be a little bit harder to press out or take care of because of the material used. You want to add on to what you were saying there? Anything?
Well, yeah. So I get all of the DCB covers, and I've done that for the last like 3-4 years. So I've got like the whole Batman run in A and B, and now that they changed them to the cardstock, I got my B issue from my LCS, and I got home, opened it up, and it's damaged, and there's no way it's coming out pressed and cleaned. Right. So it's like, okay, I'm supposed to be getting a better, thicker, stronger book, but once it does get damaged, it's over. It's done. Like if I want that in near mint plus condition, I just got to go buy another one. So I mean, I think DC, Take the Time Collectibles said it. I think DC is trying to prep us to get us ready for what they're going to do with their books, which kind of bums me out because I don't want to be paying $5 a book, man. You saw all the books I got today, man. I usually get anywhere from 10 to 30 books a week. I mean, and it's going to add up if it's $5 a book,
For sure.
Yep.
So, but for me, I like those B covers. I think that they'll have a better resale value later. I'm a completionist and I got OCD. So if I start with A, I've got to do all A covers. If I start with B, I've got to do all B covers. And so like a lot of the Marvel books, they'll do like, if you get the B covers, you'll have a couple regular ones and then like a Venomized or a Carnageized. And once that changes on me, I'm like, no, thank you.
I don't want
it. Marvel, I'm usually stuck with A because I know I'm going to be able to just get A's and complete.
Well, and there's there are certain books like Old Man Quill that's hardly ever has like a real variant. It's going to really be the A color. It's obviously the top tier books get several, but the lower tier books necessarily don't.
Yeah.
Can I mention one variant that's really bugging me?
Oh, yeah.
The variant where the cover has absolutely nothing to do with the interior. It's not even my character. It's not even, it's the Spider-Man villain cover on the
the villain's cover. Yeah.
Yeah, because I collect, Doom. I collect Dr. Doom covers. So now I got to freaking get this thing.
50
and it's just so off the wall that where the hell do I put it?
Yeah, Marvel does it monthly or bi-monthly. I'm not sure, but like every time they have a kind of a theme. They had Fantastic Four covers. Before that they had Cosmic Ghost Rider versus covers. Now they have the villain covers. It's always a theme they have to get you. But I mean, they're cool, but still.
Don't forget the Conan cover.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Conan covers. That's right.
Conan covers. Yeah.
That was cool. I mean, still, like, man, it's hard to collect it.
It's very sweet book.
Well, so Jason, I was going to ask you if what Take the Time and Matt kind of said is true, that DC is kind of prepping us for the fact that all the books will jump to this price. Do you think all the books will either get the nicer cardstock cover, or do you think they'll keep the B covers cardstock and just charge another $1 more for that?
I think the latter for sure. But Comic Books NYC brought up a good point in the chat. You said these cardstock covers, there's so many that are going to get graded and they're nicer condition. And so you're going to have a lot more 9.8s out there, a lot more 9.9 10s, you know. So that's something to keep in mind too. So something you think might be a good condition, you know, great value, might not be so valuable because there's so many of them out there and more of them graded. So just something to keep in mind.
Your Batman Damned.
Yeah, for sure. But also, if you're like a new collector to CGC stuff, or like you just want to buy low price stuff that are cool, you can get like a cool, you know, cardstock cover for like $30-$40, super cheap, and it's a nice cover, nice piece of art, and you got a CGC slab. Not too bad. I'll know it's not going to grow in value or anything. It's still cool and fun to have if you're like a new collector to that scene. So kind of a nice jumping in part too as well.
But on what JB said there, as far as more 10s, Batman Damned, if you guys haven't seen D-Runk's video where he unboxed 3 Batman Damneds that he was certain one would pop, I've never seen somebody so upset to get 3 9.8s. Like,
Right.
that moment, he got 3 9.8s. He's pulling them out 9.8, 9.8. No joy. Like, no joy.
Oh my god.
Now, on the census, I mean, it's some ridiculous numbers for high 9.8s,
Well,
9.9s,
it's how I
and 10s,
imagine
right?
Matt whenever he gets a 9.6.
Yeah. Adam. No, it's Adam, right? With the 9.6s?
No, he's used to those. He's used to those.
Yeah, John, you were saying earlier how you're not too fond of the solo kind of variant covers. You know, like the KRS comics, the Bulletproof comics, the Scorpion comics. You know, those exclusives. I don't know. I kind of been digging a lot of those. Like, I'm not a fan of some of them. Like, they have like the J. Scott Campbell covers. You know, a lot of people love J. Scott Campbell. Nothing against him, but, you know, not my take. A little too cartoony for me. But like, you know, Gabriel Del Auto has a lot of exclusives for like Bulletproof. I love his Batman.
And Perillo.
Yeah, Perillo and Scorpion Comics. You know, same thing. Clayton Crane, and you know, they're both in Scorpion Comics.
Yeah.
They have some fantastic covers, and a lot of those.
Classic.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they have a lot of them.
Reissue or Buscema reissue or something.
I just to some of those. You know, I'll buy some of those if I like the covering up. And a lot of times they're smaller pressings. You know, out of 500 or out of 300. So a lot of times it's cool, but a lot of times it's a lot of trash too. You know,
well, and it's not.
I like that stuff.
I'll get to JB wants to jump in here. But it's not the artwork that bothers me, because the artwork is usually top notch. It's more that I want to be spending my money in my LCS. I don't want to be spending it at 5 different websites. There's something about that just irks me. I like the my LCS owner and I were just real close. I like that shop. I appreciate him. I want my money in his pocket, and that's just kind of what irks me about it. If they made it available where he could get it and he could order, then I would be more interested.
Now, what would you say if we made a Comic Core exclusive cover variant? We get random artists, you know, every now and then, you know, and then that money goes back into the community as we do everything else.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I don't know that I would buy it. I would still probably want to go to my LCS and support them. You know, that might just be me. I'm sorry, JB. I didn't want to jump on your toes. You wanted to jump in there.
No, you know, we're talking about variants. And I love this whole subject, and I think we have the panel both in the chat and here. When did this start? I've only gotten back in. I don't remember there even being variants back in the early 90s when I was doing this.
Well,
There's
a lot of
when did variants really start to be the way they are now? How many years ago did this trend where people spend more money on variants than they do on regular covers?
The oldest one I have. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Matt.
The Mary Jane Spider-Man wedding. That's the oldest variant I have. But I don't know much about it.
I think there was, certain key issues that would get secondary covers and get alternate covers. Obviously, the one that people like to talk about is X-Men 1, where you had all those connecting covers, right? You had that
second series of X-Men, Gray Matter Hulk says, yeah.
And Comic Tom dropped a video where he was talking with, was it Perillo? I can't remember who he was talking to about his history with. He was helping to create the idea of a blank variant and sketch variants, that kind of stuff. And where he came in on variants, I found this kind of sparked me wanting to talk a little more about it.
That's a genius idea too, a sketch variant. I'm going to sell you a blank cover and you're going to buy it. for the
cool.
same price.
I like.
I didn't put no ink on it.
I love Jim
you
Lee.
know.
You know, Jim Lee's sketch covers are awesome. You know, sometimes I prefer them than the colored versions. You know, so I don't know.
And what
Yes.
And what they did was they sent a lot of them to famous artists and had them draw on it, and then they sold the original ones for charity. Like that was like right off. That was like one of the early things they did, and then all of a sudden it caught fire. Like everybody wanted them for cons and things like that. It became this whole other thing. But I did notice I posted a Daredevil book the other day that made me think not necessarily about variants, but certainly about the idea of what JD mentioned earlier, that this is a joke. Sorry, I'm gonna shut my mic. Sorry, a judge a book by its cover kind of thing, right? We're basically like doing this for a living. Well, I posted these Gene Colan Daredevil books, and then came to find out the cover on a couple of them wasn't Gene Colan. They had another artist doing the cover, just like it was AF-15 is not Ditko, right? It's a Kirby cover. There were definitely times when they had artists doing the cover that wasn't doing the interior work. Now it's like we have several covers doing that before you get to the interior work, right?
Ramita ended up doing a lot of Daredevil, and so did a lot of great artists during that run. So you got to win either way.
No, I mean, it was Gil Kane. I mean, yeah, it's not a bad cover. It's just, I didn't even realize it. But I think there have been trends of this for a while now. It's just exploded, like JB was saying, in a big way right now.
Real quick, the Overstreet price guide does or does not list variants.
I
don't buy it. I don't buy it anymore. And I bought one time.
They don't have all of them.
You can't possibly. You know how big that book would be?
I know, that would be ridiculous.
There's some that are like error, 35-cent price variants, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the first variants everybody knows were the 30-cent price variants from Marvel.
And that's them testing the market, right? They were trying to test. They're trying to test the new price out in the market.
Yeah, and only a few places got them.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna announce the two winners for the Comic Core contest, because I got to jump over and get book clubs set up. So first and second place, they announced on the Comic Core Friday show last week. We had Bear Island came in first, and Caleb the Smurf Murphy came in second. So we're very happy for them.
Congrats, guys.
There was a lot of debate over who would be the third and fourth place winners. And then this panel became the deciding group. So you can blame JD and Jason and I for the decision if you don't like the third and fourth place winners. Definitely, we came third place solid. We loved Who Dat Comics.
Yeah.
So Who Dat, you are the third place winner. He gets a pass to the Baltimore Comic-Con for the whole weekend. Nice. And we hope to see him there, and that he can spend time chilling with all the Comic Core crew and everybody else at Baltimore. And then, JD, I'm going to let you announce the fourth place winner, because I'm going to bounce out of here.
No problem. Well, the fourth winner was an actual tie, and extra pass. So, but we're going to buy an extra pass for it. Airboy and Bake the Snake, you're both getting
Nice.
Right. I mean, we couldn't come up with a good way to do it. It was Bake, and then it was Airboy, and so we decided that we're just going to give them both. So.
Very nice. So there's five prizes.
Right.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So that's that. One of the other things we talk about the covers and everything else, and I know you guys buy a lot of variants, and I was going over the Delatos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is not new. Golden Age, if you know, horror, pre-code horror especially, not so much the Marvel timely, but pre-code horror especially, is all about the cover. Nobody cares about what's inside, you know.
Yeah.
A coverless on a Golden Age pre-code horror is a lot worse than it is on a superhero book.
Wow.
Well, I think we mentioned before we went on, or at least I did. It goes back to the fundamentals of when you were a kid. What did you buy? You bought a cover.
Yeah.
You know, your first book that you bought because of the cover.
That's
something drew you to that book in that cover, and that's what hooked you. So it's always been about the cover.
You know,
and I do like this was an incentive variant for Original Sin, and I hated this fucking series so much. I'm sorry. But I love this cover so much. It's the only Doctor Strange
That's awesome.
model I've ever seen. So I was went nuts for this when it came out. I'm like,
Yeah.
God,
I think I'm okay with the the store exclusive, like KRS and Bulletproof and Scorpion Comics, just because it puts like the artist's money into their pockets. It's kind of like the artist exclusive store. Like if Middleton got his own contract and with someone else, I'd probably go and find his art too through them. I mean, good for him for being such a valuable commodity to the comic book society or whatever. It's great. I think if artists can draw well, more power to them. You shouldn't not put money in their pockets just because they do like store exclusives. But that's just my take on exclusives.
I feel bad for people that they get caught up in the hype, and then they're like, "Hey, this book is going up," and then they go buy it at peak, and then a month later it's $100 less than what they paid for it.
Yeah,
that's what I feel bad about.
And that's
CBSI top 10 list.
Yeah, well, Naomi won.
Yeah. Well, not all of them, but I mean, you guys obviously all watched Jason. That CBSI top 10 list. How many I did when you first come in and you're the rookie and you're what was the term that he used? Man, I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, when you're the new guy, and you're watching CBSI top 10, I can get eBay and next thing, I got 5 of the CBSI top 10. Then you watch Jason's thing 6 months later and go, what the fuck was I doing?
Yeah.
That was just stupid.
Yeah. So true, man. I hate all that hype.
Yeah, but like right now we're in a different time because we've got the post San Diego Comic-Con announcements. So Lady Thor stuff is heating up quite a bit. Your Taskmaster heating up. You got your Master of the Kung Fu Shang-Chi heating up all over the place.
Yeah.
Eternals.
Turtles, you got Carnage again. Carnage is Blade. Well, that's the thing. I don't know how they're going to do this Blade.
No, I was saying the Eternals.
Yeah. The Eternals. Yeah. Well, that's a big one. Actually, I would keep saying that. Like, I already sold my 9.4, but I sold it when it first was announced, so I kind of was okay with that,
Yeah.
But I got a good deal on that, so yeah, it's good. I mean, the Eternals and everything else, that's where we're in.
Yep.
And you get into now, you're into like I'm hearing like this talks about variant covers of like the new Thor. I'm like, these books can't be more than 10 years old. Let's not go crazy spending money on these books that are not even 10 years old.
Yeah.
But whatever.
No, I feel you, man. I made the mistake, like JB was saying, when I first got into collecting again, getting it stuck in the hype. And I had a lot of books that I lost money on, man, because I bought them at the peak and then everything died down and I'm stuck with something that's not going to get back up there again, So I've learned
45 is Fantastic Four 45. That was the one I saw more people get burned on.
Yep. I got burned on.
Shot up. That one shot up faster than Fantastic Four 48 ever did.
Yep.
Or 52. But 52 has staying power.
Yeah. It's a good one. 45 is actually my favorite cover of all time, man. I bought 2 of those back in the day. And one of them I've got my money, but the other one I lost like $400-500 on it. Man.
Yeah. 2013.
Yep. It was bad, man. But I do collect some variants. Some variants that I see them and I fall in love with them. And as long as they're not at the peak, I'm picking them up. Can I run through a couple that I pulled out?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my favorite Wonder Woman cover ever. Okay, I think she is actually gorgeous.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Nice.
That's Michael Turner.
Yep.
And man, that one, I saw that. So I picked that up 2-3 years ago. And then it came with, it says Dark Metal 1. So it's like a connecting cover. You got Batman. Okay. And then suits. So
that's awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so like they all connect.
Oh, so sick.
Gorgeous, man. So I will hold on to these forever because that Wonder Woman blows me away. And then recently Crane Crane has been blowing me away too, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that goes Riders.
I absolutely love this cover. And then have you seen when he signs it with that colorful?
Yeah, the colorful pens.
Yes.
Gosh,
That's
man.
so cool.
Markers. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and this is my favorite of his so far.
What do I have?
sounds
I have signed something
I love
in
this
Steve Tui to forget.
Yeah, Scorpion Comics has all his exclusive stuff.
Yep.
love
So I
those.
mean, I was cool with picking those up because I saw them and I'm like, I will keep those forever, raw, just because they're the most beautiful covers I've seen. So
Wow.
I'm cool with getting those, man. Those are a couple I pulled out so I could share.
That's
Very
awesome.
Well, once again, thanks to everybody for joining us here on Unlimited. We reached that.
Yeah.
Don't
We're going
forget,
to, is it John's Comics with Kids channel?
I think
With
John's hosting or Alex hosting. I'm not
No,
sure.
it's on Alex show because I think he's monetized, right? I'm gonna go super chat him.
maybe.
Okay,
Could be at
there you
Marvel channel. Yeah.
Have a good one, guys. Thanks again, everybody.
Later.
Later,
Bye-bye.
guys.